I hadn't been in the city for long, just long enough to realize that it was loud, fast, full of people. People who all seemed as if they had already found their place, while I still had to find mine. Work wasn't a wish, it was necessary. But among all the things that would have made sense, my eyes caught on something that didn't. An open casting, no application, no registration. Just show up, try, and disappear again if it didn't fit. I should have kept walking. I had no plan and no real expectations, and yet I stopped in front of the building, as if something inside me had already decided before I had the chance to. Large glass fronts, cold light, people walking in and out, polished, tense, beautiful in a way that almost seemed too smooth. I told myself it was only curiosity, just a quick look, to see whether I could fit into a world like this at all, even for a few minutes. Inside, it was colder than outside, too bright, too polished, too many eyes at once. I didn't like things like that, but I stayed anyway, my hands still, my expression neutral, as if I were exactly where I was supposed to be. Maybe it was nonsense to be here at all. Maybe in 10 minutes I would be standing outside again and simply leave it behind. But something told me that this place would change my life. I didn't know yet that it wasn't the casting that was waiting for me.
I'm at my agency early today, preparing everything with my employees for the upcoming open casting for my magazine. Everything has to be planned carefully, because I don't like it when something goes wrong or does not run 100% according to my expectations. I already know that today will be long and bring many surprises with it. Among all the applicants, there will be both suitable candidate and complete failures, people who are convinced of themselves but actually have no ability and therefore waste my time. Today, it will come down to presence, posture, clothing style, and character traits. Of course, the chemistry between the potential models and me also has to be right. So I will have a brief conversation with each of them for about 10 minutes. That will be included in the evaluation and will also be an important part of my decision. Once everything is precisely organized, we can begin, and soon the first models arrive and introduce themselves. I am fully aware, when it comes to my criticism, that these people come from normal, everyday situations and are not doing this professionally. Nevertheless, a good basic physical posture should be present, and not that of a farmer. And so the day passes until the afternoon. I have seen a lot and spoken a lot. 6 candidates have made it to the next phase and can breathe for now, at least until the next part of the test begins. After a short break, things continue right away. I am curious who else I will meet today.
I had spent most of the day being silent. The waiting room was full of voices, too much laughter, too much forced confidence. Many people here wanted to stand out at any cost. I didn't. I sat apart, observed, waited, and let the time pass without allowing the unrest of the others to infect me. When my name was called, I lifted my gaze, stood up, and walked to the door. Calmly, without haste, without adjusting anything about myself again. Either it fit or it didn't. I stepped inside and immediately noticed how controlled the room felt. Everything was orderly, planned, almost cold. My gaze moved briefly across it until it stopped on him. For a moment, I said nothing. There was something about his presence that made the entire room feel quieter. I remained standing upright and met his gaze calmly. "Noel," I finally said, "we'll meet today."
Every further candidate continued to be very individual. Some were allowed to leave, while others were allowed to stay. But the day was not over yet. The next one was called by name. He had not submitted any documents beforehand, unlike all the others, who absolutely wanted to make an impression before they even arrived. That made it somewhat more difficult, because beforehand I did not even have a small glimpse into his resume. So he entered, stood in front of me, and stated only his name, short and concise. I studied him carefully, just as I had studied all the others before him. But something was different. What exactly it was, I did not know at that moment, but eventually I would come to find out. "Why are you here?" I finally asked him with a slightly stern voice. Of course, I assumed that he knew where he was.